It's the moment you didn't know you're waiting for.
He is Carter.
He's Chad.
And this is the Irish 365 podcast.
Chad, this is Lou Holtz. That's head coach of Notre Dame for 11 years. Greatest experience of my life. They're starting a Notre Dame podcast this summer. I have a podcast as well, but it's not about Notre Dame football, although I wish there were. But congratulations on your success. And it would be nice if I could be on your podcast, but my schedule is so hectic. But anything that has to do with Notre Dame, I'm all for it. God bless you. Go Irish.
Irish 365 podcast. This is indeed our first podcast. So if you think you've missed previous episodes, don't you worry. You found the first one. So anyways, I am Carter. I'm here with my dad, Chad. And then on the big screen over there, with underneath the Irish, on the left-hand side, we got my mom, Christy, my awesome brother, Caden, and my lovely fiance, Maddie.
Only sometimes.
Madison.
Awesome brother sometimes.
Yeah, thanks for the introductions, Carter.
Hey, no problem.
All right, so what's the purpose here? I guess we're doing a podcast. So the question is, why are we doing a podcast, and why do people want to listen? So, Christy, you want to take that question? Why are we doing a podcast?
Yeah, so sometime early summer, I guess we were having a conversation about the upcoming Notre Dame football season and just talking about the schedule, and randomly said, hey, what if we went to all the games this season? So I said it. You guys didn't take too long to jump in and say yes. We just figured this year is kind of the year that if we were ever going to do this, that this is the year. Carter and Maddie are getting married next year, and life's going to get really busy after that. So this seemed like a good year to make it happen.
Yeah. So we're going to do the podcast to basically record our experiences and share those with others that want to watch. Or listen, whichever. And so it'll be an interesting activity for us, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to share with others. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of laughs along the way. So I guess let's talk about the fandom side of things, and I'll start. I mean, I'm the longest tenured Notre Dame fan in the group. I was a Subway alum, starting probably somewhere in the early 80s. And obviously, when the team got really hot in the 88 national championship and then had a 5-year run, that kind of cemented me from 15 years to 20 years old, becoming a lifelong Notre Dame guy. I probably drug Christy into that 30 years ago when we started dating. Took her to her first Notre Dame game, and she's slowly become hooked ever since. Any other things to add to that, Christy?
Yeah, I think we started dating in 1995, and I think you took me to my first game in 96, and yeah, I fell in love with the campus and pretty much became a fan after that, and it's only grown throughout the years, and yeah, our kids didn't have a choice.
They're born into it. So, Carter, how about you? How long have you been a Notre Dame fan?
So, whole life. Grew up. I think my first game was what, 3, 4?
I think you were 3, maybe 4.
So first game, and I pitched from that, and here we are on gold mics on a podcast now. So I think it pretty much sums it up. Now it's been the best of my lifetime, but we've had our ups and downs.
Yeah.
Definitely enjoy everyone though. Definitely the highs and the lows are always entertaining, right?
Exactly.
So, always been a fan. So definitely looking forward to this season and doing this.
Yeah. So, Caden, how long have you been a fan?
Pretty much my whole life,
Born into it as well, no choice, just the way it is. And Madison, how long have you been a fan?
Not my whole life. Carter and I have been dating for 7 years, the beginning of it. I was getting into Notre Dame football, so Carter and I had a common topic to talk about. The past 2 years, I've been really falling in love with Notre Dame, and I'd say Notre Dame football holds a special place in my heart, and I'm getting more and more into it, whether I want to or not.
Yeah, well, good. We're glad you're getting into it. So let's talk about some of our favorite experiences, I guess, just over the years. Kate, you want to start it off? You want to tell us about your favorite Notre Dame experience?
My favorite Notre Dame experience has to be one of two. Either this year, this was a really great experience, probably my favorite. It was Pitt. We were playing Pitt at home this year. 2023, not this year actually, but
I hear what you mean.
This
Yeah.
past season.
this season. We're playing Pitt, and we crushed them. And Audric Estime had some huge runs. So we were also there. We have some really good friends from Denmark there, Irish fans. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, you know who you are.
Shout out.
And after the game, we're taking pictures, just kind of embracing the moment after Notre Dame just pulled off a huge win. It was like 56-14. And Audric Estime comes back out onto the field, and we get to meet him, talk to him. He's such a cool guy. He wears these bracelets every game, and he gave me one. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And a couple of days later, we saw on his Instagram photo of me and him, where I was on his Instagram. It was just me and him in a photo. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool moment. We got to see the.
You got a picture with him there, like from your
Yeah.
point of view too. But then, like the team photographer got a picture from the tunnel view, and it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was a very cool photo.
He was so nice too.
Yeah, and, we were big Audric Estime fans before the season started. He just reminded me of Bettis, one of my all-time favorite players from Notre Dame. So I think we were all big Estime fans going in, and that just put it over the top. What a great character that guy is, and great person that guy is, and yeah, it just made us bigger fans than we already were. So yeah, very cool moment, Kate. And I agree, that was a lot of fun, and we got to share that experience with some friends that had never been to a Notre Dame game before. So that was a lot of fun as well. It was their first time going, and I think they enjoyed the experience from what I remember. So
Anytime you can take someone to their first Notre Dame game that like you've talked to it about for a long time, and like it's always just a really cool experience. Like it's all the best things, and like trying to get. It's hard to decide like what to actually go do on that game day though. Like that's what we were like. Oh, we should do. Oh no, we gotta do this. We hit the player walk and stuff, and like walk around the tailgate. It's like there's so many great things to do. So taking someone, if you've been a lifelong Notre Dame fan, taking someone to their first game is always a really cool experience, I think.
And if you haven't been to a game, going to your first game is an experience.
Yeah.
Definitely. So Christy, what about you? What's some of your favorite experiences at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I have to agree with Caden. That is one of my all-time favorite games, just being there with our friends and having that whole day experience. Another time period, I guess, that stands out in my mind is when you were a student at Notre Dame, and you and I and Carter were going to a lot of the home games, or you were at all of them, and Carter and I kind of switched off. There was a couple of games where all three of us were able to make it, but sitting in the student section, there's just a lot of energy there. And at the end of, I think it was your second year, you and I made it down onto the field the last home game. So I have a lot of good memories from that.
Okay. How about you, Maddie?
So many, and to follow these two is quite a task. Carter jog my memory. What was the one with our Shamrock series? Was it Shamrock Pass? Shamrock Pass. We got to sit in multiple sections of the stadium, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was an experience for itself. Unpopular opinion, I do like sitting in front of the Jumbotron because I really like to hear the music. So one of my favorite games was sitting in front of the Jumbotron, kind of surrounded by the opposing team's fans, beating them, and then going onto the field.
USC, that was
Yes.
USC last year.
USC.
Yep.
Great game, great atmosphere.
Night game.
Night game. Love a good night game. I'd say that one's hard to beat, in my opinion.
100%.
The USC fans beside us were diehard, really annoying. It was great to.
They were good
Just
sports.
around.
They weren't too bad.
And I
I've
think
met
the other-
worse fans.
The other
for
thing to
sure.
add to that experience is we were sitting right amongst the lacrosse parents.
Yes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Notre Dame
Yeah.
lacrosse.
Yeah, and so they just won a national championship, and then they come back and repeat it this year. But yeah, we were amongst the lacrosse parents, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of lacrosse players there as well.
Well, they went on the field that day too.
Yeah, they were all on the
Yeah.
field afterwards, and
Yeah, that was awesome.
so that just that amongst the USC fans and the Notre Dame diehards or lacrosse families, that was a lot of fun in that time too. I agree.
Yeah, we were, good seats for that one, right?
Mhm.
Was at the southeast end zone.
Yeah.
So, how about you, Carter? Some of your favorite Notre Dame experiences?
This obviously is a tough one. I've been to a lot of great games, but obviously ones that come to mind is that I don't remember what year, but that Michigan game, the 38 nothing, 31 nothing, but we'll call it 38 nothing still. Shutout of Michigan. Me and you were at that one, Dad, and just obviously that's one that I always remember. Some annoyed Michigan fans right before talking trash all before the game, and we just come out and we just
Brian Van Gorder's best defensive performance.
we just whooped their butt like none other, and that the game we decided to kind of go to last minute, which is kind of funny. A couple of these we really decided to go to last minute, like that one comes to mind, and then 2021 Clemson, I believe it was. So,
Yeah.
or was it one or two? Because 2020 we played, it was COVID year, we didn't. So it might have been 2022.
Could have been 22 because 21 was at Clemson.
So
20 was at home.
2022 Clemson, Benjamin Morrison coming out party, as I like to call it, 2 picks. One of them happened right, like the pick 6 happened right in front of us, and he turns it to the other side of the stadium. And we decided to go to that game, I think, at like 4 o'clock. And like for that night game, we left the house 3:30 or 4 and went up there, and that was just an awesome experience. Ended up getting ridiculous, like good seats for nothing. That was just an awesome game. My first time getting to crash the field. So that was a really cool experience for me. And then the other one that comes to mind is 2012 Stanford, that goal line stand. Obviously, that's a season that everyone remembers for different reasons. But if it's that Wake Forest missed field goal in overtime, but I mean that Stanford moment basically sends us to the national championship. It feels like late in the season, snowing, Manti Te'o and company, huge goal line stand. I mean, it was just. I mean, that's a game you'll never forget.
Yeah, absolutely awesome game there as well. I loved all those games. Loved the USC game last year, the Pitt game last year. Those were all great experiences. Probably number one for me has to still be being at the '93 Florida State game, game of the century. We should have won national championship that year, but Boston College made a field goal late and took us out the following week. I was thinking about this earlier. One of my experiences, one of my favorite. This was when I was at school there. It was Notre Dame, Michigan State, and Golden Tate dives into the Michigan State band. And that is one of my favorite moments to see in person.
Still love the highlights.
That's still a highlight. Yeah, I mean that's just a classic moment. I was thinking about this. Probably another moment was when I was a student there. Was going to a hockey game, and this was before the Compton Ice Arena, and was there with some of my friends from school. And one of the guys was a big hockey guy from Canada, and we just went to a hockey game, and it was in the Joyce in the North Dome, and it was just really low level hockey, not worthy of what Notre Dame is today. But yeah, it was a great experience. And then obviously we went to lacrosse last spring. And anytime we can go see Notre Dame beat a Michigan team, that's always fun. So that was coming off the national championship, and they were rolling, and the team was there, the football team was there supporting, and just it was a cool experience. A lot of cool experiences. So what makes me think about this, and we'll go off topic here a little bit. Some of our favorite places to set in a stadium for football games.
Yeah.
We talked about a little bit. We've done the Shamrock Pass, and I guess, Carter, you want to explain the Shamrock Pass?
Yeah, so people who don't know what the Shamrock Pass is, it's kind of a cheaper season ticket option. So if you don't know about Notre Dame season tickets, you get your ticket, but then you also have to pay a donation per ticket, which can get pricey, like pretty quick. So last couple of years, I think post-COVID, they've done it. I think this is their 4th year maybe doing it. So the first 2 years, you got for your ticket price, you got a ticket to every single home game. But the only catch is your seat location changes from game to game. If you buy 4 tickets, all 4 tickets are together. Like that's not a thing that changes. So like for us, we have 5, and like it's we're all together every single game. But we've sat in various spots. But then the last 2 years, like last year they took out Ohio State, and then this year they took out Florida State. So they're starting to do you get into every single game but the biggest game, and still try to get you to buy a ticket differently for that. But it's still a cool experience. Like we've definitely sat in some places we probably wouldn't have normally sat. Like last year, Caden's game he's talking about, I think Pitt, right, Caden?
Mm-hmm.
So that Pitt game, we sat like 3 rows behind the tunnel. Like
Mhm.
I don't know, it was super cool. I think we sat like between the 30 and 40 twice last year, maybe.
Yeah.
Like we got some pretty sweet seats. That's like, oh, Okay, we probably wouldn't normally upgrade to buy those, but we got them for the standard price, so it was a pretty cool experience on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so we've said I think about not every seat, but every area of the stadium we've set in.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's
especially after the Shamrock.
after the Shamrock passes, so that's pretty fair to say. So I guess, Christy, what's your favorite area? What section of the stadium you like to sit in? Do you have a favorite area?
Well, I mean, the suite area was pretty
I
nice.
I was gonna say.
That was not part of
Chad
the Shamrock
treated
I was wondering.
Chad treated Caden and I one time. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell about it.
So I was gonna say the suite. It was really nice. So we went there, and it's all the concession foods for unlimited, and then they got that plus a bunch more stuff. We got treated to it because him and Carter, they went to a game with it, and they were talking about how there was hanging donuts from the ceiling, and that
Sold
sounded
Caden
like
when
a
you went down.
dream.
So I would say, I mean, that was a fun experience, but I really like being in the stadium with all the rest of the fans. So I think it's cool anytime you can sit somewhat near the student section. There's a lot of energy over there, but I don't think there's a bad seat in the house.
Yeah.
No, I agree. There's not a bad seat. Kate, do you have a favorite area you like to sit? Or we all just going to say above the tunnel by the student section? Is that going to be the unanimous?
I like the
So this-
Jumbotron. I love to hear the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Maddie likes to be on the south end zone in front of the Jumbotron. She doesn't mind turning around to see it when she needs to.
No, because then you have to really turn quick because you want to see it all, and everybody's. It's a great time.
Yeah, and then I've got two. I have enjoyed when we sat in that. I guess the best way to describe it is that away sideline, but kind of towards the Jumbotron, not completely in the corner, but you can kind of see the Golden Dome still over there, but you don't fully turn for the Jumbotron. You're kind of up high a little bit though, like up in the upper section. I mean, that's just it's a hard section to get like the exact right with still seeing it. But
Yeah, you got to be high up.
you got to be higher, but it's still just like you get some pretty cool views from that. Like you're obviously watching the game, but you still got the Golden Dome up there. And you're not fully turning for the Jumbotron, so that's pretty sweet area to be at. Just if you're a scenic person, that's definitely.
You can see it all from there.
I mean, you can definitely see it all from right there. And
That's
then
true.
anytime anyone's going to the first game, I strongly recommend sitting like close to the student section, just that and right by the band, and if you get above them or next to them, I mean,
Yeah.
that's definitely like you'll feel energetic. You'll feel the energy from that section going.
Yeah, the student section starts on the west side of the stadium, 30-yard line, and goes to the northwest corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can get the north end zone and then go toward the northwest corner where you're close to the band and student section, that's always a great atmosphere. I agree. I like being in that area. Right above the tunnel, you're in that area as well. I think that's awesome. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the suites are pretty sweet.
Yeah,
and
if anyone ever gets a chance, go for it. It's a good time.
Yeah, so Carter and I first got a chance to sit in the suites. A friend of a friend had some tickets, wasn't going to use them. I was able to get them at what I thought was a fair price, and I didn't know what I didn't know what to expect first time I was going to sit in the suites because I thought it was going to be the wine and cheese crowd and the sit down and we were sitting by some diehard Notre Dame fans that just they were into the game as much as any place else in the stadium. So yeah, it was good energy, good atmosphere, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. So.
And yes, it is true. All you can eat food and drink and Shamrock pretzels
And ice cream.
And ice cream. And yes, there wasn't any donuts. We can't guarantee that every time. But
There was full-size candy bars too.
It says full-size candy bars. I can't confirm or deny that.
Did you have something different than what I was saying?
So yeah, the suites, they were really great, but it's definitely not a good as an atmosphere. Like the suites, they were great, but you don't get the full game day experience. Like
you feel low out the stadium.
Yeah.
It's a cool view.
They're great seats, but it's like if it's your first Notre Dame game, even if you find suites at a good price, I would not recommend it. I feel like
I wouldn't do it for my first Notre Dame game, but I think everybody should do it once.
I would rather be like down on the lower to the field. Just being in the game atmosphere is a really cool thing.
But hey, you got your picture with Tyler Eifert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know who you're going to see up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of former Notre Dame players we ran into in the suites. So, yeah, you just you don't know. You're going to be amongst a lot, I guess. All right, so we're doing this experience. We're doing all the games. So I guess let's talk about what we're looking forward to, like going to all these games. What's everybody looking forward to the most? So, Christy, what do you got? What are you excited about for this fall season?
I'm just very excited to think about the fact that the five of us are going to be together every Saturday, and just I enjoy spending time with this group of people and going to all the different stadiums, going to all the home games, which we've been doing for a few years, but getting to check out all the other stadiums. I'm going to be judgmental because I think Notre Dame is top notch, so just seeing what the other stadiums have to offer and having some fun with this group of people.
How about you, Caden? Anything you're excited about?
Yeah, just to add on her, going coast to coast in the span of a week is going to be awesome. So we'll be in New York at Yankee Stadium, and then the next week we'll be traveling down to Southern California. So it'll be really cool for that.
Definitely.
And yeah, just getting to see the Irish through their journey this year, like being able to feel it, because to be playing a game, I feel like we're going to be tired from traveling all week. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
we're going to be tired from traveling, so getting to see that Notre Dame has to do that and then play a game after it.
No, that's true. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah. So we're going to be experiencing what the team experiences a little bit in the travel side of things. We just get the benefit of not having to play the game, so that helps.
Hey, but we're yelling.
For
We're
sure.
battling
Yeah.
still.
For sure.
We're cheering
We're in
on.
the trenches.
That's right.
Might not look like it, but we are.
Helping bring victory.
At SC.
That's right. At SC especially.
Mhm.
How about you, Maddie? What are you excited about?
I'm excited to go to all the games with everyone, but I am also excited to wear. I'm excited to be the person to wear the obnoxious green in the sea of another opponent.
Oh, yeah.
I do like that we have a color that sticks out, especially at USC. You're going to be able to see the green real easy around and amongst the red.
Yeah.
I don't think about that. Like, I can't be wearing my white or blue.
No,
That
you
doesn't
got to
sound
wear green.
good. On the road, it feels like it's got to be green every time.
For sure. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that. I've luckily gotten the opportunity to go to Louisville as well as Michigan, but this is going to be a whole nother beast, especially going to all the away games. So excited to be that fan that's not wearing the right color, and hopefully the defense pulls through and the offense does their job, and we walk away with a couple wins.
Yeah, we
Proud to wear green either way, but it does feel a little bit different. Yeah.
Feel good on your shoulders, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Car, how about you?
I mean, Yankee Stadium. That would be pretty sweet. MetLife Stadium. That would be pretty sweet. But Mercedes-Benz, I'm actually really looking forward to. I know Georgia Tech's not a marquee opponent by usual standards, but Mercedes-Benz, I had a chance to go to a soccer game there a couple years ago, and that's just a sweet stadium. They did that right, and that's a really cool stadium with a 360 video board and everything like that. So definitely looking forward to those. And then obviously, Caden's kind of talking about, like, we go to Yankee Stadium to the LA Coliseum in 7-day period. That'll be awesome. I mean, Yankee Stadium's obviously kind of like LA Coliseum. It's LA Coliseum. Like, it's ginormous. I don't think I understand. Like, it's, sorry, I don't remember what year Olympics it was used for, but
88.
yeah, 88 Olympics. Like, it'll be pretty cool. I mean, obviously not a USC fan, but looking forward to that. So I'm hoping USC actually has somewhat of a decent season, so it's not completely like empty USC stadium by the end of the year.
Yeah, I know. I'm sort of the same way. I'm looking forward to like going to all the. It's kind of going to all the games has always been a bucket list thing, like something I've wanted to do. So getting to do it this year is really exciting. Getting to do it with this group of people makes it even more exciting. I starting off at Texas A&M.
I haven't talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, we A&M, home of the 12th man, like just expecting a rowdy crowd. It's first game of the season. Everybody's undefeated. The expectations are high. USC or A&M's got a new coach, and we know Elko's a good defensive coach, and so they're going to be excited and have all the optimism in the world. We're in Marcus Freeman's year 3. We got all the optimism in the world, so that's going to be an awesome game. And then a couple of lesser challenging games that hopefully we can stay focused and get to at home. And then, we got a trip to Purdue, which is always nice, just across the state to Purdue. And then we get to go down, like you said, to see Georgia Tech. We get to go out to MetLife and see Notre Dame play Navy, go back to New York and see them play Army, and then finish up out at USC. So a lot of great just travel games. I wished a few more of them were on opponents' campuses in their actual stadiums, but I understand we're Notre Dame, and you're gonna put in a big stadium and a big venue to draw the crowd because you can. So I mean, they're all going to be great experiences. So.
Yeah, like we went down to Georgia Tech in that COVID year, and like that was actually like I was genuinely surprised. It was a kind of cool stadium. Like it's literally downtown Georgia, or downtown Atlanta. Yeah, and it's just like you see the city skyline above it. It was like I think Georgia Tech. I know Georgia Tech's not usually very good at football, but their stadium it actually surprised me. And it was COVID year, and it still was like I mean the atmosphere was pretty weak. It was tent full or all that crap, but like it was still pretty like cool views, cool everything. So,
yeah, the aesthetic of the stadium is absolutely awesome. It's one of the better stadiums I think that I've been to. So outside of Notre Dame especially. So yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, it'll be fun to go to all those games. So something I think we're all looking forward to, and I think it'll be fun to share with whoever's bored enough to watch this podcast. So that'll be interesting. So sports-wise, so fandom-wise, so let's talk about this for just a second, because I think there's different kinds of fans and different levels of fandom here. So, Carter, what do you think? How would you break down the levels of fandom?
So, I mean, I think we've kind of went back and forth on this. So we've got, I think we would be in the 5 categories here, Dad.
Sure.
5-ish categories we've kind of got into. So we've got like, we're going to call you basic, but you're not the super fans. You're the people that may or may not know when the game is. You're just kind of, you say you're a Notre Dame fan because you might not be in sports that much, and that's fine. But you're going to ask when the game is, who they're playing.
Might wear a shirt.
Might wear a
Cool
shirt.
merch.
Yeah.
Hey, if they're doing good, that you're great. Notre Dame's great this year.
Get a sweatshirt.
My team.
Yeah,
That's my
there
team.
you go.
That's represent. Glad we're doing good this year. So that's kind of our first level of fandom. Basic unit number 2.
All right. Well, then you get from your basic to your casual fan, I guess. And your casual fan pays a little bit more attention. At least they know when the games are. They're not diehard. They're not all in all the time. But I think that you get into the casual fan level, and that's kind of hey, I pay attention during game day. I know when the games are. I know when they occur. I got a few Notre Dame shirts, sweatshirts, whatever. And then I think that's kind of the second level of fandom you get into. And then after that, you get to the next level, which would be your active fan, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people fall into is that that active fan. They're paying attention for the season. They kind of know the schedule. They know what's going on. Probably about this time of year, the active fan starts really engaging because we're 4 weeks out from the first game and they start paying attention. So I think that's kind of where a lot of the fan base falls into is that active level. And then after that, you get into what I would call the fanatics. And I think we fall into the fanatic category on the high end, but we fall into the fanatic category.
We're paying attention.
And that's people who are locked in for the season, but also are paying attention, year round to what's going on with the team and the sport. And then I think you get into the last category, which I call the ultras, and that's those people who are locked into the team 24/7, 365. Really follow recruiting and things like that, and really just dig in. And we talked about this earlier, and I think it's one of those areas where there's always the angry Notre Dame fan, right? There's this person that's never happy, and I think those stem from people who find themselves, I put in that ultra category a lot of times, not always, but they're just following the team, and anytime there's good news, it's just kind of what they expect. Anytime there's bad news, it's just they can't take it.
End of the world.
It's end of the world. They're expecting perfection. We didn't have a shutout. We didn't. Clemson scored in that game. Right? It wasn't perfect. We didn't win this kid in recruiting. We didn't. There's all these just things that.
Why is that offensive coordinator calling that play?
Yeah, exactly.
They won the game by 30. Like, calm down.
Yeah. So I mean, I just they're expecting perfection. I think when you get to some of those ultras, I think they're a little unhappy at times. They love the Irish as much as any of us. They just get to be a little unhappy at times. So I think that's kind of it. So it kind of brings me into my last area here I want to talk about. I think this could be fun. Is to do blind ranking.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
So why are people fans of their team, right? So I've got five things that I consider make people fans. I consider them the levels of fandom. That doesn't mean you have to check all these boxes. Let's just say, if there's 5 areas, it's gonna be a 1 to 10 scale, and the higher you are on these, the more likely you are to be an ultra. The lower you are on these, the more likely you are to be the basic. So let's go with a blind rank. You guys can do this as a group, and we'll discuss the rankings. We'll see if there's anything I missed, and of course we can always re-rank them at the end of the conversation. So you ready?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's go. All right. So number 1, I'm going to give you guys is about proximity to the team, like how close the team is to where you live or grew up.
Hi, people.
Where would you rank that at?
I'd give that a solid 3. I feel like
I
it
feel like
matters.
it's a 3, yeah.
I was gonna say I always see in these videos they rank the first one third, so I'm liking our number 3.
Okay.
All
We'll
right.
go with number 3.
I'm liking the 3. Proximity. I mean, I feel like it matters, and
Especially in the early parts of your fandom, like
it obviously makes life easier. Like Caden over there, Chiefs fan. We don't live that close to Kansas City, but he's
Yeah.
still a fan.
Yeah.
But I'm a Real Madrid soccer fan. Like I've never been to Spain, never been to Madrid, but I'm still a fan.
big fan.
Yeah.
So.
You don't have to live close. Again, your level could be between 1 and 10, but I think
It definitely helps.
regionally,
For sure.
if you're close to the university or close to the team, you're more likely to be a fan.
Yeah, makes
not-
life easy.
It's not the only factor, but it's part of it.
Yeah, I
All
like
right,
3.
So number 3, we're starting with number 3 is proximity. All right. How about love of sports? Just liking sports. How much of a factor is that to being a fan?
But being a fan, I mean,
Being a fan, I guess it's more important.
Yeah, you have to at least like sports, or otherwise you have no interest in it whatsoever.
Right. So I think that's pretty heavy. I
That's
think-
a
so where
2.
are you ranking that at?
what we got? 1 or 2.
I'd say 2.
2.
Yeah, let's
2.
keep
Yeah.
one open, but
All right. So you keep
Then
going
we
up.
got 2 and 3, so we got 1, 4, 5.
All right.
and there's different reasons to love a sport.
Yeah.
You may enjoy some parts of the game and the other parts are boring, but you love some aspect of the sport.
Yeah, even if it's the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's part of it for sure.
All right, so here's my next one then. Another reason for fandom, and I think it's association with the team, right? So, did you attend the university? Someone in your family attend the university? Someone in your family work for the university? Do you work for the university? Do you how does that? Where do you rank that at? 'Cause I think that's the factor.
I definitely think that varies from person to person. I mean,
I don't know.
You're
Think
looking
about
at our
this room.
family. If
Yeah.
you,
I'm
Well, I
because
mean,
of
like
you,
that-
you're because of your dad and your mom.
right? But is that what we're saying? Like because my dad was a fan, I'm a fan, or because
Yeah.
I thought he was saying because my dad, like because he went to university.
No, like I think it's to the aspect of someone
Yeah.
having an influence to you becoming a fan.
Is that what I'm
Correct?
saying?
Is that
well,
what it's
no,
saying?
I'm saying association with university, like
so just that someone
Yeah.
went there,
someone
works
went
there.
there, someone
Oh.
works
Like he
there.
didn't go there till I was 10. I was still a
Yeah,
fan.
I mean, I was a Subway alum
Yeah.
long before I was an actual alum. So,
Then I throw it 4.
so
As I'm saying, like when I was growing up, like he hadn't gone there yet. I was still a fan.
Yeah.
And I didn't know.
I misunderstood the first part of the question.
Yeah, it
I'm
was-
fine with 4, but
Yeah.
yeah, if it's just association to like
Yeah.
staff and
Yeah.
alumni, then yeah, I'd say 4.
yeah, because I think there's a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily be a Notre Dame fan if they didn't attend the University of Notre Dame.
Mhm.
Like that turned them into a fan or whatever. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we got 2, 3, and 4. So we got 2 left.
We got 1 and 5.
1 and 5.
One and
Boy.
All right.
No pressure, guys.
So all right. So here we go.
Worst and the best.
How about influence of family and friends?
There it is.
On
There
there
it
Yeah, I
is.
was gonna say, that's I think what you
That's
guys were
number
looking for on the
one.
last one.
There you go.
Not that I manifested it. For
So
sure.
you're gonna put that in the number 1 spot.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So then number 5 spot, we're going to put performance or accomplishment of the team at the time you become aware of it.
That makes us feel
Right.
real good. Yeah, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, that's
We
good.
love them no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's the bandwagon, Katie. But no, I think all of those things, like if you were, for everybody, it's going to be different. And, we talked about this, I really become aware of Notre Dame in the early mid 80s, and then, like I said, they got hot and became really good in the 88 season, won a national championship, actually 87 season, won the 88 national championship, rolled through the 93 season, really easy to get cemented in the fan. Carter, You didn't have that same experience
No.
growing up.
Yeah,
A lot of
early 2000s.
A lot of mediocre 3-loss seasons going.
6-6. See you in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hawaii Bowl. Champ Sports Bowl champs. Thank goodness.
That's right. Hey, we went to Outback Bowl once too, I
I
believe.
don't think it was an Outback Bowl at the time. I think it was pre-Outback.
Pre-Outback
But,
Bowl.
Yeah, Champ Sports Bowl was really iconic. It really shaped the program for what it is today.
There was a surfboard at the Hawaii Bowl, so
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
I mean, it seemed iconic. If I was a 6-6 college football team and I got to go to Hawaii, I would not be complaining though. I know
There's worse places.
the worst place to go for that.
No, so but I think that's part of it, right? Because I think there's a lot of people who would say, "Oh, I'm an Alabama fan."
Oh,
That don't live anywhere close to Alabama or SEC country, don't have any family members that attended, University of Alabama, but they've been hot for the last decade, so you're gonna find a ton of Alabama fans, at least until they fall off. And same thing with Ohio State. I think you find a lot of Ohio State fans because they've been hot. They've been good for the last
But
decade.
we're also not that far from that proximity.
We
where
are
We
close
hear
to the
about
state of
that a
Ohio.
lot.
They can,
Oh,
they're hot, but definitely some more fans because they're good. I can't disagree with that.
Like we are in Northeast Indiana. We are 20 minutes from the Ohio line, an hour from the Michigan line, and I can say that in the last 6 months, I have seen more Michigan stuff at my office than I have prior to that. I don't know whether we're just hiring more Michigan fans, or all of a sudden people have become Michigan fans out of the closet. But there's always that
They'll be
influence.
hiding here soon. Don't worry.
It's just I think who's hot at the moment, the bandwagon fans, they exist, and they have allegiance that can be bought with wins. I'll just put it that way. They don't need NIL money; they just need wins. So, all right. So, how about just love of sport? You guys kind of rank that one low. I guess we started off with number one. Number one, you guys actually went with influence of family and friends, right?
Yeah.
So, you think that's? I mean, for us, it's clearly the biggest influence. I mean, I will take credit for that for this group primarily. And Maddie, you second branch, you're part of that. And then number two, we went No, we didn't go association number two. What'd you go number two?
Read them all off.
Proximity. What's
I
three?
thought proximity was
First one
3.
was 3, yeah. 2 was the second one we did. Was the second one you read. So we had 3 too.
Number two was love of sports. That was the second I read.
Oh, 3. Because we said you had to
Ah,
understand the sport to an extent,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you had to
Yeah.
enjoy some aspects
Yeah,
of the
right.
sport.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about my dad. My dad didn't like football. He liked basketball. So he was never going to be a Notre Dame football fan. Casual would be above his level. He'd be basic at best. And I wouldn't even call him that. But yeah, he liked basketball. So he would talk about Digger Phelps. But he was more of an NBA guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got that, and then we've got the proximity of the team. I think that plays a little bit of it in the regional side. Association, I think, has some degree with it. I think people become fans of teams they wouldn't be otherwise because they attend a university or someone they know attended the university, that kind of a thing. Sometimes I think that's where it starts. Go Hounds, right, Carter?
Go home.
There you go. And then I think association is the other side of it, right? So we talk about that. So, all right. So what are some of our favorite game day traditions? I guess let's go that direction. We've all talked about the experience. What's some of our favorite game day traditions?
Got one on. You start us off.
Yeah.
Am I always the starting person?
Yeah, let's start with
just
you.
left or right.
Alright.
You're a good lead off.
So my all-time favorite thing from the moment I first went to the first game in '96 is walking on campus, and no matter where you walk onto campus, there's an usher that says "Welcome to Notre Dame" on game days, and that just like gets you in the mood and get you excited about the game day experience. There are so many traditions at Notre Dame, so it's hard to pick, but that one stands out to me. I'll let everybody else go, and then we can talk about some more.
What's up, Kate? What you got?
What's your favorite?
this got to be probably one of my favorite traditions. It's just a really cool experience going back to the prayer area with the candles. That's really
Visiting the
cool.
grotto. Yeah.
The grotto, yeah. And like also just going to the church. I mean,
So
especially when you see they do a team mass and like see them walk out of it,
Yeah.
that's awesome. But yeah,
about you, Maddie? What's some of your favorite game day experience?
I'm a big fan of when the band comes out and gets us ready for ultimately coach and the team to come out. I'm a big Marcus Freeman fan. I will happily provide all of the Marcus Freeman details from his outfit to any fun sideline facial expressions that he may give this season. I'm not complaining
Hopefully
because
all smiles.
all
Yes.
smiles and a
All
lot of
smiles. Nice
excited.
job.
Yes.
Now, what are you doing?
Yeah, do your job.
Yeah, do your
Wrong
job.
coach, but
Hey, we don't want to see
still
any of
do
that
your
this
job.
year. Yeah.
But luckily, everybody else's traditions, but mine gets to go home and away. So Marcus Freeman's running out with the team in every game.
every
So I'm
game.
not
That's
complaining.
Leading the team
Yeah.
on the field.
All right. Well, I guess that puts it to me normally, huh?
Yeah,
That
you're
goes
next.
to you
So I
Carter.
guess pre-COVID, I'd go Trump's Under the Dome. Definitely something I was dating mad at her. I think it was her second game. I don't think we made it on the first game, but second game, I was like, all right, we're gonna go do this. Like going inside the dome. If you've never been, definitely look it up on YouTube. They do it outside the dome. That's why I say pre-COVID. So before you literally walk into the main building and you like the trumpets, just the trumpets would come in and they'll play the fight song and like a few other songs too, right? If I'm not mistaken, or they just play. I feel like they played to March On. Right?
Yeah, I think, but primarily the fight song.
Yeah, primarily the fight song, but it was just a super cool experience. I mean, they're going back and forth. They got their little routine out and that. It was just musically inclined, but it was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, now they do it outside Golden Dome. It's still pretty cool, but it's not as cool to me. But hopefully they bring that back. I don't know if they will. It probably makes more sense to do it outside, but that's obviously awesome. And then just watching the band pregame. I mean, pretty sweet experience. Just seeing them and getting ready for and lining up in the ND and the band of the Fighting Irish. I don't know why that was always really cool with me. So
Yeah.
Chills for sure.
yeah, so that was yours.
Yeah. And I think everything. I mean, it's the whole experience all together that comes around. I like just being on the campus and the atmosphere and we usually park on the south side and walk up and you walk through the tailgate and you get to the area and then go back to the grotto and yeah, I like the whole experience. But probably my favorite is just right before kickoff. There's a magic in the sound of their name. That sound comes on and then da and they go into the shipping up to Boston a little bit and I like that whole right before kickoff just tradition right there, just getting you ready for the game. That's kind of one of my favorite traditions. And there's a lot of great traditions. I mean,
We didn't hit player walk.
I know,
Yeah,
player
we
walk
did
is
player
an
walk,
awesome experience.
Notre Dame, our mother at the end of the game, and
Yeah.
getting together in this way. I like
Mhm.
that. Those are all just great things and great part of the experience as well.
I mean, Caden's kind of touched on the
Yeah.
pregame prayer, like they show you at the Jumbotron. I mean, it's just like such a. I mean, I know not everyone in the stadium's religious, and that's completely fine. Just like it seems like such a calming moment, and then just like, oh shoot,
Yeah,
ain't not,
And-
yeah, no kidding, it's coming.
Right when they were coming out, like playing the boys are back, that
Yeah.
it gets crazy.
So, anything else from the game day experience we want to talk about? Anything else we think needs to be discussed that we really enjoy?
One of
Maddie?
our favorite. Oh, sorry.
You got anything?
Me?
Yeah.
I want to hear what you have to
All
say.
right.
You're ready to go.
I was just thinking. I had a memory flashback back years ago when we used to go to pregame tailgate. Those cookies. Remember the cookies?
Oh, yeah. Business. Shout out Mendoza, School of Business.
Yeah, pregame tailgate. Bring back the cookies.
Yeah.
Hashtag bring them back.
I thought maybe Maddie'd want to talk about the day of the hamster.
I like the hamster.
Yeah.
I think the hamster is a nice addition for all ages in the
Anyone who
stadium.
doesn't know what we're talking about real quick, it's the hamster that literally opens its mouth.
He has a hat.
Oh, he has a hat on.
Yeah, he's a leprechaun.
Hey yo.
Hey-yo.
Oh my god.
My favorite's when he goes,
Poor crowd.
yoda, 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 yoda. And then they say all right, and then everybody says all right. I just think it's a really easy one to follow.
They've
You-
really been pushing it the last couple years, I feel like.
I
Yeah.
Like
can't
they've
stand
really
it
tried to keep that one going. Now
But-
the one that does great. Oh, go.
from the sense of, yes, you are a diehard fan, and you know that you say go Irish, and you do everything that. But for someone, it's their first game. That's a super easy one to follow to make them feel involved.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yes. Is there sometimes that I feel like they're pushing it slightly? Could he do a little less? Probably. But overall, I'm not. If someone asked me if I had the choice, I wouldn't get rid of the hamster.
Now, one of my favorite new ones is though when they're on the jumbotron and they find like a random baby in the crowd and everyone starts going wild and they show someone else and they start booing.
Oh yeah.
Poor guy for
I'm
anybody
all
that
for
missed.
that. All for when we start cheering for someone and
That
they're booing
was-
like
yeah.
everyone else. That's hilarious to me.
Yeah, I just hope the person that's getting booed knows that that's just
Yeah,
part
I
of
hope
the
it's not
game.
their first game.
That's not
They're,
their first
they're
game.
more than excited to be on the jumbotron. But they usually do students. I feel like they get
Yeah.
Yeah.
getting booed or like someone from the other team. So
And
like,
they're booing
Yeah.
themselves. Like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
some of the students
Yeah.
will start booing
exactly. So
themselves.
they know what's
Yeah.
happening. But then
They
they show
do.
like the baby or whatever, whoever
fun.
it is, or Obi, and then everyone's cheering. So that
Yeah.
that has been
Yeah.
a recently new one that I have genuinely enjoyed. I find that one funny every time.
Kaden mentioned earlier when we were talking about the flyover. That's always something
Oh, yeah.
cool too when
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah.
And I think one of the cool things about the flyover is the fact that a lot of times it's a former Notre Dame student who's part of that either ground crew or pilot. So it's even a cool tie into the university in that second side of that. I think that's always cool. And of course, you can't beat a flyover. I mean,
No, yeah. Especially those big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
And
feel it
Still
in your
feel
chest.
You can
Yeah.
feel.
yeah. And one of the things that I talked about, I guess that I miss is the old Sergeant Tim McCarthy from the Indiana State Police giving his fourth quarter warning. And it'd always be, "May I have your attention, please?" And then he'd give some sort of corny, like, "Don't be a nut and bolt out of here," punchline or whatever to, remind people to be orderly.
And the student
when they
section
leave.
laughs.
The student
Yeah.
section, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was, everybody knew it wasn't that funny, but it was funny knowing it wasn't that funny. So I kind of missed that tradition. That's why I put 10% of the dome, one of those old traditions I missed. Something I thought about we hadn't done in a while, and we need to go do that like game one at home this year. Is we need to go to the Rock. We need to rub Rocky's nose.
See, I feel like me and Maddie went to do it a couple years ago.
He's not there.
No, the door was locked or
Okay,
something.
yeah,
Oh.
maybe a
So
post-COVID thing. Maybe that
Yeah, because I forget what building it's called. Was it?
the Rocky Athletic Center.
Is it the Rock? Okay, I was trying
Yeah.
to remember. And yeah, like I remember doing that, and we went to do it with. I went to do it with her one time, and it was like the doors were locked. It's like it's a little bit of a hole over there.
For
Like,
us standard fans, it's luck, correct? If you rub Rocky's nose.
that's like the good luck before a game. Like,
Gotcha.
it was-
We gotta at least go check.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta try that.
Well,
so.
we'll get back to you guys. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we'll follow up the first home game. We'll let you know.
Yeah, but yeah, that's definitely something I remember doing. I want to say we did it every game growing up, but like we went there once a year, maybe ish. Probably
Yeah.
the first game we went to in the season. Like we were going every game back then, but definitely went probably once a season and tried it. But yeah, I remember going with her. I feel like maybe twice we tried to go and it was a lot.
I agree.
But that I don't remember if that was right before COVID or right after COVID.
I think 1990 was my first Notre Dame game. In person.
1990.
In 1990 was the first time I went to a Notre Dame game,
Gotcha.
and people I went with. That's one of the things we did, and for us, I think it was a tradition for into the late early, I guess 2017, 18. I think it was every game we went to, and we've been to a Notre Dame, at least one home game every year since 1990. I have, and I think after you guys have gone to your first game, you've been to at least one a year, and the last couple of years we've gotten to almost all the home games, if not all
We'll
of
go
them.
clarify. Even during COVID, me and my dad did.
We did.
keep our
Yes.
Yes.
streak going. So
That was a stressful
that
time
was a
period,
stressful
thinking you guys weren't gonna make it to
time.
a
That was the
game.
year I think the year before we're like kind of like just randomly like I think I've been to one game every year since 2004, and he's like I think I've been to everyone since '90.
Yeah.
So and then the COVID came like
we
we
gonna
just
do?
found
The
out
streak
the
may
streak
end.
we had, and yeah,
So we've kept it going, and we started a new streak for everybody in 2021. So we're gonna keep it going.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think those are some things, and so I think that'll be some of the stuff we talk about. Just the experience stuff as we go through this journey. We'll talk about the travel. We'll talk about things we saw, opposing fans, home fans, things we've enjoyed.
and maybe some new traditions this year.
Maybe some new traditions.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I will say though, a cool tradition. It's not a tradition we do. I mean, we kind of do it at home sometimes, but more so a team tradition is hitting the "Play Like a Champion Today" sign coming out of the locker room.
Yeah.
That really makes Notre Dame feel real. Like seeing that on the jumbotron.
I also find it interesting that you bring that up, Gabe. Like everyone's got their like thing they do to it. Like everyone hits it differently, and it's funny
Yeah.
to see the players. Like some always hit it 3 times with that slap at the end, or
Or the swipe. Or,
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's got their own.
everyone got their own pregame ritual.
Uh-huh.
It's like a handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They
Yeah.
have one with the sign. So I always think that's interesting and fun for every player to see them like even over the 4 year do the same thing. Like every
Yeah.
time they walk down to this. they're trying to do the exact same thing they did that first time. And that first time, they probably had no idea. Like,
They'd be doing it every
yeah,
game
exactly.
since.
They were like,
Yeah.
well, I did it last week, so
Worked
I'm gonna
out.
go with it.
it'd be interesting to talk to a freshman to like, oh crap, like, yeah, I'm doing that every time now, or get there once if they realize that
Mhm.
that first game they made that decision, they pre-planned it, or if
And
it
if
was
they
kinda-
played well, then it's over. They got to do it.
That's
You're,
right.
you're definitely not changing it.
You have a good game, stick with it, right?
Yep.
So, all right. Well, I think it's going to be a fun experience. I look forward to documenting this in our little video journal, as we're going to call it. Most people call it vlog, but we won't do that. We look
Digital
forward to have-
scrapbook.
We look forward to having other people follow along. So, on social media, comment, like, whatever you want to do. Tell
Send
us.
us a message.
Send us
Send
a
some
message.
questions.
Tell-
We don't care.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it. If you're really good, maybe we'll have you on as a guest.
Yeah. If you're lucky.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Irish 365 podcast.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast.
We are on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook.
Just search for Irish 365 Pod.
And you can always reach us at our email, irish365pod@gmail.com.
Good night.
And God bless.